Before we talk about the waiving of the adoption fees, tell me a little bit about Best Friends Animal. What do you all do there?
Okay, well, we're a national organization that since 1984 has been working to stop the killing of animals in shelters across the country with a goal of reaching that by 2025. So we've been here in Northwest Arkansas since about 2018, but we are now building a beautiful 20,000 square foot pet resource center in Bentonville. And so we're really kind of trying to ramp up how well people recognize us so that we can garner more volunteers and fosters when that new pet resource center opens up.
So the real goal here is to end pet euthanasia by 2025.
Yep, that's the big goal.
Okay. The waiving of adoption fees, how does that play a role in this?
That is so important because our shelters right now are in crisis. May is the time of year when they get the most animals dropped off at the shelters, and adoptions have been down. And of course, all of our shelters are underfunded and understaffed. You know, we're seeing that staffing problems everywhere, transportation problems. So every time we can get an animal adopted out of a shelter, it really saves two lives. It saves the life of the animal that's been adopted, and it saves the life of the animal that takes its place in the shelter. So it's a real 2-for-1 deal. It's super, super important.
All right, so how easy is it to adopt now that these fees have been waived?
It is so easy. All you have to do is there's a website, which is bestfriends.org/adoptnwa. All of our adoptable pets are available for review right there. If you're interested in adopting a cat, many of our cats are at our life-saving center, which is at 210 Prairie Lane in Bentonville. The dogs, however, are in foster homes. It's a lot easier on a dog to live in a foster home than the shelter where it's stressful. So if you saw a dog that you really wanted to meet, then you would contact the folks at our life-saving center and set up a meet and greet, what we call a meet and greet, with the foster family, and they'll work out the time and place, and then you get to go meet that dog in person.
How important is that meet and greet?
Well, for that dog, it's a really, really important thing. But for the families as well, our staff is trained in counseling families, finding out what they want, and in helping them pair with an animal that's going to suit those needs. If they've got really little children and we've got a Great Dane that's really young and goofy, that Great Dane is probably going to knock the kids over. So we might go, oh, you know, think about that. But we also have an older dog that might be really gentle, might be really good with little children and really patient. So our staff tries to know the pets as well as they can and counsel the people coming in and looking.
Is that kind of the problem, that people will go adopt and just not get the right animal?
I think sometimes that does happen. Even for Best Friends, that can happen. An animal can be returned to us after an adoption for no fault of its own. It could be something that they didn't realize, oh, that a dog this size maybe was going to take up so much space on their sofa, or maybe not get along with another animal, or maybe their little toddler is afraid, or you just never know what the situation is going to be. So we try to mitigate that possibility as much as we can, but we will always take an animal back rather than have it end up in some other shelter, because we're going to place them back in a foster home and really work hard to get that animal readopted. So there are a lot of reasons why sometimes that just might not work out. And it's not the dog's fault. It's not the people's fault, just the way things are.
Why is May the big month for adoption?
You know, I don't know. That's a really good question, but we do get a lot of drop-offs at that time. You know, it could be a lot of things. Maybe it's because the school year is wrapping up. You know, maybe there are college students that don't keep an animal, or maybe people are getting kids out of school and things get complicated, or maybe they're going to be traveling. You know, there's just a lot of different reasons. Every situation is individual.
I just wonder if you know, Christmas pets or Easter pets may be part of that reason as well.
Sometimes you'll see that a few months after they get a pet and they realize, oh, this is a lot of, you know, responsibility. But May, it could be just a lot of different things.
Is there a certain goal of how many you want to have adopted, or does that really come into play?
All of them. Our goal is to have all of them adopted everywhere. That is our big goal. So the more we can adopt out, the better. Of course, every time we get an animal adopted from one of our foster families, that foster family can now take in another animal from an overcrowded shelter. So it's a win-win all the way around. We, of course, want to find great homes for all the animals we have currently. Speaking of which,
Just like that.
just like that. We want to find great homes for the animals that we have currently, but that is also helping the animals that are maybe in a shelter right now that are not thriving there.
And all of the animals that you take care of have been spayed, neutered, and chipped and all that?
Yep, they come vaccinated, spayed, neutered, chipped, ready to go. Even little ones, if you adopt like a kitten or something really small, we will make an arrangement to have that animal spayed or neutered, and you would just need to show up for the appointment.
Okay, again, give us that website for folks to go on to find out more about this, the waiving of adoption fees.
Well, you can just go to bestfriends.org/adopt NWA. You'll see all the animals' records and little blurb about each animal, what their character is like on every single one, and we'll tell you Bounty picks it up. They're picking up the fees for the month of May.
I was about to ask, how are you able to do this?
They worked a deal. Bounty wanted to work with Best Friends, came to Best Friends and says, this is something we really want to do. We feel it is important. And so they just worked out a way to make it work, came together very quickly. And we're just delighted that Bounty has stepped up right when we really, really need it in the month of May, when the animals need it. And they just threw all caution to the wind and said, we'll pay for all the adoptions for Best Friends all over the country. So it's a remarkable gift.
Well, you gotta love that. All right, Linda, thank you so much for joining us. And let's hope that all of them get adopted.
They will. They all will. Thank you.